Hello and welcome to Hereby Nature. Today we're going to be talking about John 1 3 through 5. I'm going to be using the New International Version just for journal prompt sake. Now, to preface this was a message that I had, of course, intended to post today, on next. After my hospital stay, reading this, I'll get into it more in the personal reflection part of it at the end of the video. So, without further ado, let me pull up my little journal prompt thing that I made. The verse starts, "Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." So, the first section is that Jesus is the source of life. So, the journal prompts that I've created in the PDF that is linked down below. It's free download, don't have to worry about any kind of paying or anything. The first question in the journal prompts is, how can you stay connected to Jesus as the source of your life in practical, everyday ways? What spiritual practices help you to remain rooted in Him? So, without going too terribly into detail, I do want to say that there are plenty of times where I myself could have died. And I do really feel like Jesus, or God, really, he saved my life, and he's acted as a source of light in numerous different ways. But yeah, section 2 is reflect his light. In what ways do you reflect the light of Christ in your daily life? The second journal prompt being, are there areas where you could let his light shine more brightly through your actions, words, or relationships? So, very briefly, I am trying really hard to reflect his light. And even whenever I was in hospital for 12 days, the inpatient stay is what I'm focusing on here recently. It was really sweet. A lot of people were saying that I was really bright and cheery. And at the time, this was when I was functioning under the guise of major depressive disorder, is what's going on in my head. So people saying that I made them happy was really nice. And then even to the other day, I'm keeping in contact with a couple of the people I met there. Here, I can even read it out. And if you're watching, thank you. You know who you are. Yeah, so it was a very short message. Honestly, I thought it was a lot longer. They said, "You're an amazing person. Don't ever lose your shine." And just that text message, that really brightened my day, first of all. But also it just meant a lot. So section 3 is that darkness has not overcome Jesus's light. What areas of your life feel like they are still in darkness or need the light of Christ? How can you invite his truth and presence into those spaces? Yeah, that one could go really deep with my diagnosis and all the medical stuff that I'm doing right now, or the fact that I lost my wedding rings. If you see me wearing any of them, my friend lent me one of her sets that she has, just so that just so that I don't I felt naked without anything here, basically. But for the personal reflection part today, honestly, I don't know which one section I really want to focus on. I guess I'll go back to the first section, what spiritual practices help you remain rooted in him. So especially after coming back from hospital, I've been focusing a lot on like my very small, like mundane just routine, really. Like I can't even say morning ritual. It's things that I try to do in the morning, middle of the day, and then at night. I'm trying to reincorporate, I say reincorporate, like actually solidify these habits that I know that I should be doing that I'm really not. And one of those, especially during Lent, that's not even taking Lent into consideration. Sorry, my brain is still not fully there. But my morning, like just my routines, I'm trying to get that down. So in the morning, I'm really trying to not necessarily stay away from social media, because we need to stay connected and all this kind of thing. However, it is very important to keep in mind that in this day and age, you have the power to really choose what you're consuming, food-wise and media-wise. It is a lot whenever you think about it that way. The other day, I was watching a music video, and the music video was pretty worldly. I'll leave it at that. It was pretty worldly. And I had no idea. It was the first time that I watched the music video, and it was kind of insane. It was kind of whack. And I mean, I still love the song. Like, that's not going to change that fact at all. But now I have like those images like in my memory. So just keeping in mind that, like, not necessarily like you are what you eat with social media, but that it is still imprinted in your memory, like the things that you consume in one form or fashion, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. Maybe. But the point being, in the mornings, I'm trying to stay away from social media and have my first thing that I see on my phone. Here, I'll even show you. I have the Bible app. I have like the little image right here where it gives me a Bible verse, and I set that to be my home. So whenever I click on home or the middle button on my phone, it'll automatically bring me there. And I know necessarily reading scripture every day isn't really what makes one better. It's the meditation and everything on it. But I do feel like starting my day out that way is helping a little bit, at least. And then the part that I'm personally struggling with, like, to be honest, the part that I'm trying to work on right now is grounding myself in that woman's Bible study that I mentioned prior, the Walk with Jesus daily devotional. I'm wanting to do that in the mornings, and I'm kind of getting that routine down. But outside of routines, while I was inpatient, I met this really sweet older gentleman. His name was John, and you'll never guess his favorite book of the Bible. But he was a very sweet older gentleman, and one thing that he really focused on was the importance of small groups, which for me really spoke a lot, only because my church, sorry, I had a puppy snack attack. I've started to bring puppy treats with me to kind of keep the bone treat non a little bit out of it. But now he's all up in my biz. But yeah, he really focused on the importance of small groups. And the church that I'm going to, because it's such a big church for the area, but a big church in general, there's no way that I would be able to know every single person in the church. Ideally, that would be like the long-term goal, was to know at least most people in one form or fashion. But the importance of small groups, a group of like 8 to 10 people, and getting to know them personally and deeply, intimately, in the non-physical way. Like having those deep conversations with people about their walk, their personal experiences, their testimonies, learning what God has done in other people's life. Like that means a lot. But yeah, so short answer, the spiritual practices that bring me closer to God are the everyday morning routines that I'm trying to instill in myself, make them a habit. And the small group that I go to. This week it's canceled because of spring break. And just that, saying that in itself, with everything that's been going on, is really nice. In the fact of, like, I feel like God gave me my own spring break of sorts, because it's not until the end of this week that I even get to go to my outpatient service and maybe learn that I can go back to work on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it'll be. There have just been so many times when God has been there in my darkest times. Oh my goodness, not even to mention being in an inpatient facility. This place that I went to, for vagueness, has at least 3 different units. Initially, I was a little bit combative, so I was in the higher security unit because, I mean, that's why they took my ring set away. I was out of my mind. I lost my mind. I was in they're calling it a dissociative fugue state in the paperwork that I read. Again, I haven't been to my outpatient, so I don't know like the full proper diagnosis from my inpatient stay. This is just what I've gotten from the ER that I go to when this happens. But yeah, my stay at the inpatient facility in the past has been very traumatic for me, and there were moments where it was pretty scary, where there were fights that kind of broke out, and I could feel my heart rate, like my heart beating out of my chest and everything. All in all, though, this one has been really great. But yeah, so Jesus has overcome the darkness, and even in my darkest moments, there's still that light. And I don't know if this was in a sermon that I was listening to or a song or wherever I heard it. Light is able to shine the brightest in the darkest places because of that contrast. But that's my art talking, my art background talking. But still, the light is able to shine very, very brightly in darkness. I guess that's a good little place to put a bow on it. Sorry for the wet hair. I thought that I'd recorded the video for this before, and I hadn't. So I'm doing it before church, and I'm going to be editing it after to be up today. Either Wednesday's videos, or maybe I'll keep these Sundays videos the same. I will start to go out into the garden more, because I know it's technically, I'm wanting it to be a Christian gardening devotional. And I could have gone into the seed needs light to sprout, and the light helps orient the seed to know which way to grow and all this kind of thing. It's still early. My brain's not working that fast. I made coffee and I need it. I'm human. And there's plenty of other verses that I could bring that up in as well. I feel like this verse, the real main talking point in it is that Jesus has overcome all of everything. He's overcome death. He's overcome the darkness. So, yeah, just know that even in your darkest moments when you feel like you're alone, you're really not. You always have somebody that has your back. So, if this video really lit you up, to make a bad pun, please like the video and subscribe. That would help a ton. If you feel led to share one of the journal prompts that have been on screen, or again is located in the PDF, please comment down below. It would mean a ton. And until next week, friends, I'll see you then, and have a blessed one. Oh, here, you want some dog eat and treat audio? That's what I tried to save everybody from today. If you guys didn't know, I'm short. How insane. I'm working right now. Working to get better. That's a long run-on sentence.